What's the Lions' current salary cap situation as we had? It looks like still top 10 in numbers. I think just shy of 50 million. Now that's not including the players that will potentially get caught. You'll add some
Hmm.
funds to it, but
Yep.
there's also going to be some numbers that get decreased when some extensions happen, maybe for JMO if it's long term, or Hutchinson or Kirby Joseph. So there's going to be some decrease in it. But right now, before, it seems like that whatever the Lions need to do for 25, the salary cap is in a decent spot. It's going to balloon in
Yeah.
26, but let's not worry about 26 right now. Let's worry about right now heading into free agency. What did you learn from just kind of researching a little bit about the salary cap for the Lions heading into free agency?
Yep. So according to Over the Cap, which has the base salary cap estimated at 272.5 million, the Lions currently have a touch over 46.5 million in cap space. And in terms of effective cap space, that number is 43 point roughly nine. It's 43.871, but roughly 43.9 million in effective cap space that they can use to bring in free agents and draft picks and other players of that nature for the 2025 season, which is a pretty good spot to be in when you think about the fact that you could use a veteran corner, whether that's Carlton Davis. I know you mentioned it earlier in this podcast that corner is a position that would be best suited by bringing in a veteran player, whether that's re-signing Carlton Davis. I wrote about Paulson Adebo as a potential guy who could be a replacement at the cornerback position. I just think you've got to get older at that position. And I think having this amount of salary cap is perfect because it gives you a lot of different avenues to go down. I don't necessarily expect the Lions to pony up for a big name free agent and throw, north of 20 million at somebody. But at the same time, you've got the resources to do that if you see fit. And again, this is a good spot to be in for the Lions. And this salary cap and the cap space is all based on the estimation right now. The official cap number is normally released in late February. And I know when they released the number from last season, everybody was shocked because nobody thought the cap would increase by as much as it did. So roughly like an 18-ish, off the top of my head, $1 million increase is what's projected from 255.4, which is what it was last year. I wouldn't be necessarily, given last year as the precedent, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up a little bit more and the Lions have a little bit more spending room before cap casualty cuts and things of that nature. Which also evaluating that, not to get on a tangent too much, but evaluating that is tough just because the Lions don't really have anybody where you look at them and you go, yep, that's a guy they should cut. Like there's obvious benefits to cutting certain players, but they're productive guys. It's not like they've had somebody who's not living up to their contract. There's obviously some benefits to parting ways with a guy like Za'Darius Smith based on the cap implications, but at the same time, Za'Darius Smith can be a guy who comes back and gets you 8 to 10 sacks next year. So again, it's tough to kind of evaluate who the cap casualties could be, but at the same time, they've got the money. They're in a good spot heading into the offseason here.
Okay, yeah, I think that's it's always an advantageous position to be able to have options where you can sign your own, you can pursue free agents that you want, you can pay players that are talented that are available now, like a Myles Garrett, and you have the opportunity to be flexible and have enough for a rainy day and to pay the draft picks, which I think the Lions have done for the first 4 years a great job of the cap, and I expect no less from Detroit's front office is to put the team in the best position to be able to have success now and in the future. Sustained success is great, but Super Bowl win is fantastic. I think that the general managers in town love the word sustained success, where that's great, but most people, most winners, just win one Super Bowl. Win a cup, win a Major League Baseball World Series. Sustained success is great, but I think that should be put behind going for it and having an opportunity when you sense it to time it right. Fans, I think, would respect that more than just getting there year after year after year after year. Eventually, you got to pay it off. You got to, as some would say, finish the story, as
Yeah.
a lot of people would understand that reference, to understand that you got to, finally bake the cake and let everybody enjoy it, not just let everybody window shop for year after year after year. Eventually, someone's going to need to make a purchase here and let the fans kind of get the payoff for the investment and the time and everything like that. So we'll see as it moves forward.